Well,
We
for
might
those who
as
don't
well.
know, Joe Biden was on the Charlotte. Obviously, was on Breakfast Club, but he was only interviewed by Charlamagne the God, which is one of the one of three co-hosts of that show. Obviously, Charlamagne the God is known as he's known as one of those interviewers where he does not pull punches. Like, he will ask you anything. He had that very famous interview with Elizabeth Warren where he called her like the name of somebody that he used to do quote unquote. He used to say she was black, but she wasn't black. It's very interesting. But so basically on that episode with Charlamagne the God, Joe Biden towards the end of the interview says, "Look, if you're not sure whether you want to vote for me or Donald Trump, then you ain't black." To quote him lightly, he said, "You ain't black."
You got more
Well,
questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
it don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community.
Mm.
So obviously that came towards the end of the interview, and Charlamagne the God is a black man, regardless. So obviously it seems like a bad joke that did not land right at all, but it also has bigger implications. Talk a bit about how you kind of first reacted to it. Like, how was it?
Yeah, and just yeah, about Charlemagne and his show, when he interviews these political people, it's really interesting because they always try to be so casual, and be more outgoing. I remember Kamala Harris revealed that
I knew you were
she
gonna
was
bring this
smoking
up.
weed. I, you know, um, yeah, but she was. I don't want to get in my views of Kamala Harris, but she said that she was smoking weed in college, I think, in the 90s or so, listening to Snoop Dogg, and people were like, okay, was it Snoop Dogg and Tupac or whatever? And then people were researching, and it didn't seem to
Oh
be quite
man.
honest. But there was also the Hillary Clinton interview when she said that she loves hot sauce really very much, and she was like, okay, I always have hot sauce in my bag, and it kind of
Can
looked
you think about
as if,
something so stereotypical to say, man? Come on, man.
yeah,
Let's
it
not do
seemed
that.
to be like she was pandering, because
Yeah.
obviously Charlemagne's the Breakfast Club is like a huge thing in the black culture in the U.S., right? So you always have these uh, political people, and it doesn't matter what their race is, right? I showed you Kamala Harris is black, and you talked about Elizabeth Warren, and we talked about Hillary Clinton. All across, whoever goes there tries to show that they have this authenticity, and they're connected to the culture, right? So and
They
so
have their
I
ears to
was
the streets.
exactly so. And I remember seeing something about because there's always this conversation about how politicians talk when they're speaking to the African American community in terms of their accent, and even sometimes their accent becomes strong and becomes like a little bit more urban, so and it's quite honestly, I don't think it's anything nefarious. Even Obama does it. If you listen to his speeches in South Carolina compared to, I don't know, Michigan, you hear that the way he talks is different. So so I was reading, I think, an article about it, and then they linked it. They talked about how Joe Biden was talking, had an accent when talking to Charlemagne, and I put on the audio, I mean the video, and I heard the interaction where he was like, okay, if you're confused about voting me, blah blah blah, then you ain't black. And it was a back and forth between Charlemagne and Joe Biden, and I was like, okay, okay, that's weird. And I was like, okay, are people going to let this slide? Because for me, I was like, okay, whatever. It's just like, it's probably just a bad joke or whatever. I let it slide. But I was like, okay, but are people going to notice this? And 2 hours later, I'm checking. Like I was, as I told you, I was just going through the channels and going through from Fox News to CNN to MSNBC, and then I see Simone Sanders uh, going on, like she's going full on Dennis Rodman. She's defending Joe Biden with like a, the intensity at 100, So I'm like, okay, this, but the what's interesting about it is that this is one of the the first instance in this since Joe Biden became the presumptive nominee where he actually had a gaffe or like a scandal. Everything has been about Trump telling people to drink bleach or inject whatever. It's always been about Trump. And it was quite. I suppose it was quite interesting, and you talked about the ramifications. Like you told me that there were people who were saying, "Oh, uh, uh, what is this going to do with the black vote?" I saw some right wingers saying, "Oh, uh, the movement Blexit." Talking about how the black vote is going to exit the Democratic Party, and I was like, for me, I think it's that logic is a little bit overblown and probably like it's just like a poor way of thinking or poor logic is especially if you're a strategist, a Republican strategist. There's no way you think this is going to bring you more black votes. First of all, if you look at the history of the black vote, like we mentioned this on the episode we talked about the general election. Just the composition of the parties is different. The policies of the party. It's not like the Republicans aren't trying to actively pursue the black vote in terms of their policies. Apart from this, the theater that they like Trump will do with "I love my blacks" or whatever.
Do you see my African American over there?
Yeah, yeah. Apart from those, you know, the theater that they, they they put out there. I was looking up the numbers of the black vote in 2018 in the midterm elections. It's 90% Democrat. So are you telling me that it's going to move? It's going to move to Republican. I saw someone say, Dave Rubin said that he's predicting 30% of the black vote is going to go to Trump, which is just,
30%. My
that's just like,
goodness.
I've never seen a more stupid, sorry to say this, but it's just like, this is just a really wrong prediction. So, yeah, in terms of the broader ramifications, in terms of like the Republican getting the votes, not much. But the I suppose the most legitimate feeling behind it is what exactly Charlamagne was expressing to Joe Biden and saying, I feel like the black vote is taken for granted. What are you going to do for the community? And that is what is the most legitimate feeling there, and the conversation where it should be. And I think, and that's what I suppose people who are advocating for black people, I guess they should be more expressing more explicitly, because as we talked about, Joe Biden is um, a transactional politician. Who you like he'll give you something, so he'll always give you something. And we've been seeing this with how we've all these op-eds up talking about how Joe Biden is moving left since he won the primary, and people saying, oh, it's going to be concerning for the moderate voters. Like what he's doing is just he's making sure that he gets the left side of his party, the vote of those people, and locks it down first, and then move on to another block and try to give them something else. So I suppose the conversation should be about what is Joe Biden going to do for the African American community in the U.S. instead of, you know, the other conversation that's a little bit out there.